Islanders jersey celebrating. The cameras then were fixated on Zach Wilson the rest of the game. Guys, there is some star power in NYC right now, and I'm not just talking about Alec Burks for the Knicks. I'm going to put this out there. You tell me if we in or we out. Zach Wilson is going to be the biggest football star in the Big Apple in 2021. We in or we out?
Wow.
Kay, we'll start with you. Then we will go to Mr. Palmer, and then Sean O'Hara, Mr. New York Sports himself. Take us home.
Oh, I thought that James was going to go first because he in the morning meeting said, every quarterback's a star in New York. Well, I'm going to jump you now and say, I'm sorry, have you ever lived in New York, James Palmer? Was Sam Darnold, in fact, a star? No, I don't think at any point was he a star. Vinny Testaverde, Mark Sanchez, guys who went to AFC title games, not stars in this New York market. I'm going to say no. And I think Saquon, healthy back, will be the biggest football star in this game. Maybe not Daniel Jones, but it doesn't need to be a quarterback. It's usually Michael Strahan and somebody that's not playing the quarterback position anyway. Even two-time Super Bowl champ Eli Manning, when Odell came along, was he a bigger star while he was there? Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Shots fired a little bit, but also let's say the Jets, no offense to them at a hockey game, but everybody's playing for second place behind Taylor Lewan until any of them get a buck tattooed across their chest when they rip their shirt off and shove beers at the side of center ice. I think everybody knows that Taylor Lewan's the number one hockey fan in the NFL. But let's go, and as I'm saying, I'm in, Kay, and I'm in because let's just think about a thing for a second. That quaff we saw as we were going to break for Zach Wilson, you see a kid that skipped his senior year of high school to go to BYU in college, comes back for his prom, and not brings just one, but two BYU cheerleaders to his prom. This guy doesn't have
Is that right?
power. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, BYU is a Mormon school, so it makes sense. But at the same time, all kidding aside, go look at what you look at with quarterbacks. You mentioned Mark Sanchez. Even if he didn't play that great, he was in the headlines every day, especially his personal life at the same time. So I go into a city like New York, which, yes, I have never lived in. I lived in the redheaded stepchild city of Philadelphia to New York, to be entirely honest. But at the same time, I look at if he's successful and he's Justin Herbert right out of the gate and nobody knew this was coming and he plays great in his rookie year, it's hard to do that. If he fails, it's still a storyline day in and day out, Sean. So I think however he plays with that flip of the hair in the front, he is going to be a headline-making machine in New York.
Yeah, James, I tell you, he definitely is the new kid on the block, and everybody loves the new kid on the block, right? 2 years ago was Daniel Jones that everybody loved, and now Kay is even souring on Daniel Jones. So just like another segment we do here in a New York Minute, things can change fast. Quicker than Peter Schrager's playlist and his Backstreet Boys. No, I like NSYNC. No, I know I'm part of O-Town. All of those switches happen just like that.
O-Town.
But Zach Wilson, when the season starts, he'll be the talk of the town. But after a couple games, to me, it's going to be Saquon Barkley. The return of one of the most gifted running backs I've ever seen live in person. Coming off of an ACL injury, it's going to be a great story. We saw Adrian Peterson do it years ago and lead the NFL in rushing. I think Saquon Barkley has that in him. He's got that ability. I think this offense will be featured around him, and I think it will be much improved from last year. So Saquon Barkley, yes, I think that he will knock the new Joe Namath off of his status on Broadway.
Okay, all right. I'm with you on this. Running back, I hear what Kay is saying. They showed Zach Wilson once, the NBC cameras, during this Islanders hockey game, and then they went to him about 45 times in the next minute. Guys, he's alarmingly handsome. Like, he's a very good-looking person. The cameras really like him. I can see his face on the back page of the New York Post a lot. And there's nothing against any of the other quarterbacks in New York. This guy he's got the look. All right, let's go to the next one here. More importantly, John Cena is going to be joining the Fast and the Furious franchise for the next movie coming up, which is titled Fast 9. Guys, the Fast and the Furious films, there have been 9 of them over the last 20 years. They're all incredibly successful, though they do not win Oscars or Academy Awards by any means. My statement is the Fast and the Furious, look at Diesel, look at that guy. The Fast and the Furious franchise run is comparable to the Patriots dynasty over the last 2 decades. I say that with a straight face. James Palmer, I go to you.
I'm going to say, Schrags, I think the Fast and the Furious franchise is more successful than the Patriots. Now, listen to me. There's very components to this, because if you look at, and I went down a wormhole last night reading about this in Forbes. Yeah, I'm trying to pretend like I'm intelligent, but at the same time, the movies cost less to make than the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, but they also make a lot of money. So the context between the two of them is actually very comparable from cost to profits. There was 9 appearances in the Super Bowl with the Patriots. So these are similar, but at the same time, what I look at is halfway through the series, the first 4 movies made far less money than the last 5 when The Rock joined. Now, there is no The Rock. Now, Vin Diesel, if he leaves, just as Tom Brady left and won a Super Bowl with the Bucs, if Vin Diesel takes his lifts out of his shoes and goes and wins an Oscar with another franchise, well, yeah, then there's somewhat of a comparison. But Mac Jones, I've seen the shirtless photo with the cigar.
Yeah.
He is not The Rock. I do not see a comparison between the two. Now, if there's a new star that gets added that brings this dynasty more life, then yes, I'll say they're comparable. But I say the franchise is more successful than the.
I mean, call me when they win an Oscar. James, what are you talking about? Don't clap for that, Peter Schrager. Just because you crank out, stuff all the time, just because something's around all the time doesn't mean that it's great. Little Debbie turns out zebra cakes and Nutty Buddies and cosmic brownies all she wants.
Delicious.
Tell me when she's getting a bakery in Soho, but tell me when she's getting a Michelin-starred bake. She's not Dominique Ansel winning awards. That's what the Patriots are. It is the pedigree, not the volume or the cash flow even. Fast and the Furious isn't winning Best Picture. That's all I have to say. Call me when they win Best Picture or when they're even considered in that category. No disrespect to the Fast and the Furious. I had a great date once in the movie theater to one of these movies. Yep.
Kay, to me, the thing that's interesting is if the Patriots were a movie, I think we would all be asleep 20 minutes into it. So I love the Fast and the Furious just because I like the action. You like the entertainment. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. And look, if you've got The Rock running around busting heads, I'm all for that. They replace it with John Cena. Listen, I used to love wrestling when I was a kid, so I'm all about the Fast 9 right now. And I think when you look at just the pure excitement factor, the fact that they're able to continue to make movies about racing cars. Look, I know it's hard to get to the AFC Championship game every year. It's hard to get to the Super Bowl. It's even harder to win it. You know how hard it is to make a movie after movie about cars, about stealing them, about driving them, about souping them up and creating plots? I mean, that is really, really hard. I mean, we have people that stay up all night long trying to create an A block, all right, let alone an entire movie with sequels and follow-ups to the previous one. I mean, I can't wait for 10.
I gotta tell you, this is one of my favorite questions ever posed on this show. The passion the three of you just showed for the Fast and the Furious being compared to the Patriots. It epitomizes everything about Good Morning Football in May. It's why you're watching at home. Okay, I've got nothing to add. I'm here for Vin Diesel, but I'm with you. Probably not going to see